Ace. You didn't even finish that. You fucking laughed.
Yeah.
You ready? Hang on. We'll do it again. You ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm leaving all this in. Fuck you. Oh,
he told me to eat chips.
Well, then we said 69, and hey, it's episode 69 of ExAnime. Hey, audio listeners, listen to Justus.
You like ASMR?
Viewership down. I mean, can't come down much lower than what we already have. Hey, this episode 69. It's been. Oh, sorry, that makes a lot of noise. Less noise than that. It's been a wild ride. 6
We
episodes.
both had some energy drinks. I'm sorry.
I haven't had any energy drinks. I just bought Arizona.
Well, you had Monster earlier.
I had Monster at like 10 in the morning.
Oh, never mind.
When did you think I had a Monster?
I'm pretty sure you said you had one at like 8
No,
8 or 9.
No. Hey, no, but it's episode 69, ExAnime. We're going to be talking about a few shows. We got our C list, which is Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan,
Platinum End, Love of Kill, and the Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt.
Listen, man, I love this season of anime that we're watching.
Yes, I'm going to be nitpicky on one of these shows because there's like 3 things that...
Oh, there's been a lot of good shows. I think so far we've had one meh show and one show that I just think is like, I kind of don't want to watch it, but I'm kind of invested at this point. Can you guess what that show is?
Strongest Age?
Yeah, it's a pretty meh show, which its rating reflects that. Hey, so Demon Slayer, we got 4 episodes to talk about. Hey, it's just been a fight this entire time.
Yeah. It's a good fight, though.
It's definitely getting fight of the year. I was talking to Improvise, a mutual buddy we have. Oh, no, it's going to be all sticky. There's no way any other show can have a better fight of the year because this is 4 episodes of a fight. It's like a whole fight. Like even Attack on Titan, right now you could argue, oh, well, these like 6 episodes have all been one big fight that's slowly been taking place. But Demon Slayer, it's like, hey, 20 minutes has gone by. Episode end, here's a cliffhanger. It's like, well, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm. And the final episode is this coming Sunday.
Oh, that's right. And it's 45 minutes.
Yeah. So they started with basically an hour special and will end with an hour special.
Oh, that's right. They did start with a really long. Should we just talk about it next week? That way, I mean, let's be honest. Like, just to get it out of the way, rather wait 3 weeks. I mean, we'll decide by next time.
I don't know.
No, but the fight is still going on. So we have, God, I've been... It's been crazy.
Uzui, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke are all getting their ass handed to each other.
Well, no, it's like they're getting their ass handed to them. Then they're winning. And then out of nowhere, it's like, yo, fucking level up time. What? Immediately get their ass kicked. Because episode 7, we're still having Nezuko kicking the shit out of that one lady. Daki. And the weirdest thing happens. She's about to lose. Gets her head cut off. Izui's like, oh, why is she still like, at first he doesn't say like, why is the head still talking? He's like, wait, she's still talking. What's this? And then her brother morphs out from her. So you have to chop off both their heads at once, which is a weird thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's like a super weird gotcha moment. It's kind of cool. The character design for him, super, super cool. I really like her character design. It was like, it's like, all right. But her brother's character design, fantastic work on that.
Our friend to Improvise, him and I were talking, and we both agreed. I think that the only thing that's kind of like for the season is Daki's character, though kind of badass, kind of like fun. She whines a lot, like especially in that. For a couple episodes where she gets her head cut off like 3 times, she's like literally crying. Even the first time she has her like head in her lap and she's just crying. Bawling her eyes out.
Well, first they play the card of when they go to cut off her head, she has a ribbon attached and it's too quick. Then they chop off her head quick again, but they're like, oh, the ribbon is still attached. And they actually cut off her head. Like her head's been cut off maybe like 12 times. And like this whole season thus far. So basically 12 times one night. Listen, I'm just going to rip this off.
Why?
They're not going to sponsor me. I'm not going to have their stuff on screen. It just looks like I'm drinking piss in a bottle now, though. No, but listen, guarantee, you know how we bitch about the anime awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee you this year, almost every category is going to be Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer. Rightfully so, because it has really good character design. It has good villains, depending on
I don't think it'd have it for music. The music hasn't really stood out. Not that much to me.
What, you mean like the score? You're talking about opening and ending?
I think opening's
ending,
really good.
Yeah,
ending
is
won't
weak. Be in there. Yeah, I think the ending's super weak.
To be fair, the opening is by it's Eimer, so you like you get easy wins with that one. So
I'm actually gonna try this week to input that video that you sent me of Demon Slayer, the episode 10 of Demon Slayer, and it's those fireworks just fucking going off on there. It was on what the subreddit. It was the discussion of the subreddit. Justus sends me this video, and it's like Demon Slayer episode 10. It's just a shitload of fireworks. Because you can talk about this whole thing in one. Mm-hmm. It's like her brother shows up, and I'm like, yo, this fight's going to get good. And then he goes...
He has dual scythes.
Yeah, like which is a cool... I feel like that's because you don't see that really often. You see like dual knives or like dual swords, but like the dual scythes, like even the design of them are super cool. And his...
Dude could use a burger, though.
Yo, that dude is, he's just like bone. Just like, he's like a triangle. He's like a woman from like what was that, like 1930s fashion where they do like the real tight corset thing? Dude could use a burger. Also could use some skincare. That dude's got like blisters all over him. But I don't know what, it was weird. Like, it's kind of graphic. Like, did you listen to like the sound of when he scratches? It's so like, it sounds like a, Foley artist did it. I mean, obviously there's Foley artists that do it digitally, but it's so like surreal when he's like scratching himself, causing pain. I just want to know because there's a limit to how much they can kind of heal, right?
No, I mean he is like upper 6.
Yeah.
So
are they both? My question is, are they both
upper 6?
Are they both one rank? Or are they both within the upper 6 as 2 separate ranks? I think they're the same.
Yeah, both of their rank, eyes are. Say upper 6.
Yeah. Because there was 3 ranks within the upper 6 and there was 3 in the upper 3, right?
There's lower and then upper because it's supposed to be like the 12 moons or whatever.
Yeah. So I just want to know, maybe I got to read the manga to find out. Maybe it's clearer in there because I think they share the same rank within that upper 6 there.
Yeah. It's basically like upper 5th would be just a single individual. Typically, in their case, they're supposed to be like blood related, so there's a weird merge thing that they have going on.
Yeah. One interesting thing is in what was that?
I will point out real quick. Rui from last season, his whole family, those were just people he made, so that wouldn't count.
Who? Wait, what?
Rui, the spider dude from last season.
Oh, those are all family members. Oh, that's right.
They're pseudo family members that he turned into demons to be family, compared to this one when they were both alive.
One thing I will say in episode 7, Nezuko goes like fucking ape shit. Like she's even stronger than before. Like they're crashing through houses, kicking stuff. Nezuko, like she actually has that point of like almost like eat someone. Luckily, Tanjiro is there to stop her. And one of the funniest parts, he's like, okay, you stop your sister. He's like, I can stop her. And they immediately just go fucking flying out of the window onto the street on there, which was a cool transition to like make the fight go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I really like Yuzui, his fighting style. And because you get to see it more in episode 7.
Flashy?
Flashy.
I mean, you really get to see it on full display in episode 10.
Episode 10 is probably the biggest episode, I think, of the season, even of the show. I think it's I don't think it's on par with the Mugen Train fight because that was a lot more emotional build-up because it was all one go. But I mean, it's up there, dude.
I mean, they've done a pretty good job of like building some tension and emotion because you have his wives, he's hurt, the pretty much sacrifice that Tanjiro has gone through because that boy is fucked up right now.
His whole family, like you learn in one of the episodes, his whole family's dead.
Well, I mean that was the end of the first episode, but
oh yeah.
No, I'm talking about like right now, like he's slashed, like losing blood, like can barely.
We're just
like,
gonna go straight to episode 10's fight. 'Cause that's what
well,
mattered.
I mean, even within the subsequent episodes, because they get Nezuko under control.
Yeah, they get Nezuko under control
by singing her lullaby,
which was kind of like a what?
It was like
it was cool, but it was like what? That's how you're gonna call it?
It made sense, but Tanjiro currently has his sword bound to his hand because he can't.
The only way he can grip his sword right now.
Mm-hmm. I would say not even episode 10, like episode 9, because that's where things kick off, or cliffhanger you into episode 10.
Yeah.
Which
well, the thing is, in episode 9, one of my favorite parts is so they're fighting the girl. And Yuzui explains, like, he does that kind of offhand comment, like, he's telling the rest of them what they need to do without telling them, like, my guys are smart enough to know that we need to cut off both your heads. And then Inosuke's like, oh, we got to cut off both their heads. Like, God damn it, Inosuke, you're so fucking dumb. You're smart, but you're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, it's going to be happening a lot. One of my favorite parts is Inosuke, it's like, he's not strong enough to slice my head with both blades. And then he's like, starts sawing her head. And she's like, is he sawing my head? He's like, I'm not going to let her go.
Yeah. Pretty creative. Because even when that happened, where it was like, oh, we're doing that.
I mean, his blades are shaped perfectly for it.
Yeah, it was just unexpected.
We forgot to mention that Zenitsu goes into his god speed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's episode 10.
He's done it twice. Oh, I guess he did it in episode 9 to escape the rubble. Oh, no, he does that twice in 10, doesn't he?
Yeah. Because he uses it to escape the rubble.
Well,
right
the thing
to
is,
help, and then does it.
Yeah, he did his normal speed originally in the earlier episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Then he does his like super speed, which is him just fucking going everywhere, ape shit, cutting ropes. And it's like, Zenitsu character is like, if he was awake and could do this, he would be awake. You son of a bitch. Justus is eating Funyuns again.
Sorry, I'm super.
I'm gonna
hungry.
put away my.
Look, I was super. I respectful. I moved the microphone away.
I don't know how to describe it besides like people need to watch it. It's not even like the hype of you gotta watch Demon Slayer. It's like this fight is fucking good.
Yeah, because even like the show's done a great job of when you think things are going their way. Hero's way, it just isn't. Like Inosuke sawing off Daki's head, and he's like, I'm just gonna take her head and run. Where it's like, that's really smart. And you think that her brother is
distracted by Yui.
Mm-hmm. Appears directly behind Inosuke, stabs him in the chest. It looks like
heart.
Well, it looks like it's his heart. Apparently, he rearranged a little bit. Spoilers, I guess. But
it's not spoiler. We're talking about the whole thing. He rearranges organs. He even mentions like, I'm a boar. I was born in the rough mountains, so I can rearrange my organs. Like, to be fair, the boy did fully dislocate his body and go through a fucking hole.
Yeah, there's a difference between like dislocating stuff, which people can normally do, and shifting organs at will. So like, whatever.
I love how ridiculous his fucking character is to this point. He's still pretty fucked up though, because he gets stabbed pretty bad.
Yes. But that's when it's like, oh, well, where's Uzui? Looks like he's dead on the ground. One of his hands are chopped off.
Yeah, it's not looks like it. It is definitely chopped. Well, yeah, chopped off behind him.
Yeah, and it looks like he's dead.
Yeah, and you can see the poison has spread.
Yeah, it's over one of his arms, and it's like, okay, well, everything's real fucked right now.
Here's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, because the brother uses a big attack to crumble some buildings, and Zenitsu to like pushes Tanjiro out of the way.
I don't think Zenitsu really saved Tanjiro there. Also, Zenitsu ended up under the building rubble, even though he was on top of it. Hey, man, I'm no structural engineer, but it sounds like,
I mean, it could be a thing that like the lower sections would have fell where they are.
We forgot to mention even the better part of it. Tanjiro starts using his flame demon art. Not demon art. His sun. What do they call it? Sun form or sun breathing.
Yeah.
He uses sun breathing like 4 times in a row, which takes a massive toll on his body. Like, he saves them a couple times, like saves the day by doing sun breathing, but it takes an immense amount of stamina. And that boy's about to run out. He's trying to save one of Yuzui's wives.
Mm-hmm.
And then the brother attacks him. He's like, I don't have enough strength. Wait a minute. Sun, water breathing, first form or whatever. And it's like, holy shit, he's combining arts at this point. Hold the phone and just fucking blocks the attack. So Tanjiro is super leveled up. Like, his eyes are just turning red. His hair is changing color when he does this. The scar's growing bigger. It's like, oh my God, Tanjiro's a fucking badass right now.
Yeah, well, you're mixing two things. Both he was trying to go for the head, but that first one failed. The second one, where it's like his hair's glowing and his scar changes.
Yeah.
That is him just trying to push through his neck.
Yeah.
Which they succeed. That was cool because it turns out that no one's actually dead. Great way to fucking lie to everyone.
Yeah.
Though Inosuke is very fucked up. That man is flying through the air as he's like, oh yeah, I just shifted some stuff, and it's like blood. And it's like, you're gonna die, my guy. Stop talking.
Well, the thing is, like, at least this fight isn't cheaping out. Like, oh, it conveniently worked. Like, even at the point we were watching Tanjiro is fighting the brother, he's running away and he's throwing, like, I don't know, salt packets or something. And Tanjiro gets both his fucking fingers like this, just twisted and broken backwards. That whole fight, they're just twisted backwards. I'm like, it just looks so bad. But then he hits the brother with one of the
kunais.
Yeah, kunais that kind of poisons him, which gives Tanjiro the leverage he needs to, like, push through.
You find out Uzui, though he's missing a hand,
that dude is fighting like he's got one blade in his mouth that he's just like doing a whole spinny thing with one hand.
He basically purposely like passed out essentially to stop the flow of the poison.
Yeah.
And it's still probably flowing, but way slower. It's like that kind of thing.
Well, he's at that point of like, he can still fight. I wonder if he's actually going to die or just be severely fucked up. Like, it might be the thing where he's just severely fucked up.
Yeah, it might be a scenario where after this, because they kind of allude that the wives want him to, like, call it quits. Like, he's done a good job of protecting people, but at what point do they get to have their own level of happiness?
I mean, it's cool to see you meet this flashy Hirashi, and this is a very, very flashy season of fights. It's like, holy shit. Like, when he's fighting single-handedly, like, it's not even a joke when I say I'm watching the show and I can't keep up with what's... Like, stuff's happening so fast on screen. It's not like Dragon Ball Z where they're like 3 lines to show it's fast. It's like they're animating this fully going on. And you're like, I got to watch between 2 people here fighting, and I can't keep up. And Tanjiro was like, I can barely keep up. Because the episode leaves off after Tanjiro cuts off the brother's head.
And Daki's head was cut off by
Zenitsu.
Zenitsu and Inosuke.
Yeah.
Help.
Zenitsu, that's when he goes godlike speed, and it's crazy how fucking fast he's going. Like, blood's just dripping all off of him super fast. They get the fucking cut. And the best part was Tanjiro was like, get your breathing under control. And you're like, is Tanjiro going to die here? Because I haven't read ahead, so I don't know. So it's like, is Tanjiro going to...
He's the main character. It'd be weird if he died now.
Inosuke could be the main character. You can do a whole fucking switcheroo.
But
Tengen Toppa, Gurren Lagann.
The brother, because they're trying to, like, chop his head off. You were talking about, like, Tanjiro trying to get himself under control. It was kind of poetic, a little cheesy that their heads, both Daki and the brothers' heads, like,
kind of roll to each other.
Yeah, but it did take 2 demon slayers for both of them, like effort wise, just to chop off both of their heads. So, and fucking Tanjiro takes a scythe to the bottom of the chin.
Oh, that's right.
And it's like, oh, yeah.
I had that same fucking reaction, like, oh, you just get stabbed there.
Mm-hmm. And the brother has poison on his like mini scythes, so that's where Tanjiro's like, oh, everything's fading. Like, get stuff under control. But at this point, he has no energy.
Yeah, he's got zero.
And then
maybe the pulse enough. Well, the best part is like Tanjiro's like, and like Yuzui's like, Tanjiro, get up, it's not over yet.
Yeah, and that was
and that's where
the
end credit is just it slowly ending the fire.
Yeah,
it was, oh my god, that's a rough cliffhanger to be
You see
on.
the wide shot and it's like, oh,
that whole town is
and then
fucked.
Just credit on the side and it's like, oh, you motherfuckers.
I hated watching it that day because I was like, Improvise messaged me, he's like, I fucking hate this show. And I'm like, is Tanjiro? That's why I'm like, is Tanjiro going to die right here? And then the cliffhanger comes, I'm like, this is the like 8th week in a row. That's just a fucking cliffhanger.
I feel like this cliffhanger was
necessary.
better than the last week's.
Last week's, it's just everyone's fucking down for the count.
Yeah, last week it insinuates that at least 2 characters are immediately dead in an instant. And you're like, what do you mean?
Well, my whole thing is this fight. I know, and Nezuko calmed down. I was wondering, like, is she going to come back at any point?
I'm assuming there's, like, meant to be a spiritual bond, but he's being kind of too thick-headed to realize.
Maybe the Nezuko comes back when that explosion comes off because she's supposedly stronger than them. She's stronger than the upper 6, which probably puts her in, like, maybe upper 3. Maybe that's her whole thing of she's super strong. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with this on there, dude. It's literally at this point of like, I want to read ahead, but I'm not because I want it to be animated and I want to be surprised.
Yeah. I just think at this point, wherever if you are the Demon Slayer corpse and you're like, hey, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Osuke, we're sending you to this location. You have a Hashira with you. That's cool and all. But for the second time now, Hashira almost died, could potentially die at the end of this. If anything, probably career ending or really close to. And you guys are absolutely fucked up again. At what point do you just have like a Raven or something on standby where it's like, yo, we sent these fuckers out on a mission. Be ready to back them up because shit goes wild when they leave.
I wonder if this is the whole strategy of like, these 3 are supposed to be the next 3 big Hirashi. I imagine that's the whole plot point on there because they all have their own breathing style. I love in those cases.
I would assume that would mean one will retire, probably Uzui. One's dead.
Another one might.
Something's going to happen to the third.
It's death or retirement, baby. Let's go. Put it on black.
Well, I mean, one could secede to run the whole thing.
Maybe. We've got to point out, Inosuke had a very cool, like, bore breathing, 6 form. I was like, well, bore breathing. I'm sure he said it before, and I'm like, it always fucking hits me like, bore breathing? Like, come on.
Yeah. All right. It's really good. I'm going to let you spat out about some Attack on Titan.
No, but first we got to talk on Inosuke's a beast. There's a beast Titan. Boom, that's my segue. Let's fucking go. Dude, Attack on Titan is fucking kicking. Hang on, I got to pull up my notes. It's fucking... So I've read ahead at this point. I couldn't wait a whole year for the next season. Go ahead, do it. Do it, pussy. You won't. Do it. Crunch. He's got another fucking Funyun in his mouth. Okay, so
this man's so weird.
So Attack on Titan, right? We left off last time where the I wrote down the 2 nations. Oh well. So Paradise Island is the island that Eren and Mikasa and all of them. That's where original Attack on Titan takes place. Marley is the foreign land that's attacking them. So Marley does this surprise attack last time. Everyone's going to fight them. Like I said, everyone's getting their shit fucking kicked in because they're showing up with like machine guns, zeppelins, and all of the people on Paradise. The Survey Corps has is like the little like pss, 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 like the swing things, and they're just getting shot, which makes sense. And they have this whole dilemma in the basement. Armin's like, you know what, Mikasa? Because there's this whole thing of like, Mikasa was told something by Eren to make her believe like she doesn't actually love Eren. She's just following him because that's kind of like how the family line shit works because she's an Arkerman. I think is how they call him. And Armin has this thing of like, listen, Eren must have just been lying because it's convenient and he doesn't want us dying for him. And we need to help Eren. So they're trying to have this dilemma of how do we get out there? How do we help Eren? And I've got to read through this because I've been watching it week by week on there. So they go out there and they're like, okay, we're going to help Eren. And they get their ODM gear on. That's like their maneuver gear. And out of nowhere, Beast Titan shows up. Like when you remember Beast Titan from like 2 seasons ago, all you knew of Beast Titan was he was evil. Like he must have been the mastermind behind killing everyone in Paradise and the Titans attacking. Which he kind of was, kind of wasn't. But he shows up now and he's on the supposed good guy side, the side of the Eldians, the Paradise Island people. And the Zeppelins up in the sky are like, oh, the Beast Titan's there. Shoot at him. He takes a whole bunch of rocks, starts throwing them at the Zeppelins, because Zeppelins, it's like the old style where if they get punctured, there's like sparks, it'll catch on fire. He knocks out all the Zeppelins in the sky, which were giving the Survey Corps the biggest trouble because they were shooting machine guns at them flying around. So then Paradise Island's coming back, fucking killing people. They're winning the fight. And then you see Eren. Eren's fighting Reiner, which is the fucking armored Titan. And you're like, oh, Eren's having trouble. But luckily the giant Beast Titan is there to help him, right? Beast Titan starts throwing rocks, damaging Reiner. Because Reiner's old, so the older your Titan is, there is some wear and tear to your Titan. Because you can only, when you inherit the power of the Titan, you only get it, I think it's for 13 years. And then you just die. I don't think it was fully explained yet. So basically it's Eren and his Titan, because he basically has 2 Titan powers inside of him, or 3 Titan powers inside of him. It's like 2 or 3. And the Beast Titan, so Eren and the Beast Titan versus Reiner, Colt, which is the Jaw Titan, and I forget her name, which is the Cart Titan. So it's basically 3v2 Titan fight, right? Plus the army of Marley is fighting them, and there's really not that many Survey Corps people to help. So Beast Titan gets fucking shot down because he gets shot in the neck because the Cart Titan has a giant, like, basically, I think, Flak 88 gun on her back. Shoots the Beast Titan down, and you're like, oh shit, is the Beast Titan down for good? No, he's not. He's still alive, even though he got shot in the nape, because, like, when you're in a Titan form, your body stays in the nape of your Titan. Mm-hmm. And then the big problem with that is, so now Eren's pinned by Reiner, kicks off Reiner, the Jaw Titan tries to attack Eren. Eren knocks the Jaw Titan off, and then Eren's on his way to get to the Beast Titan, and Eren gets hit again by the artillery gun, almost killing him because they're trying to shoot him in the nape to try and kill him, because if you destroy their body, they're basically fully dead. And then this whole like fight is still going on. Like, the guys are trying to stop the Cart Titan from shooting the flat gun. They're getting their shit kicked in, which I find bullshit that they're using like World War I style weapons to shoot people that are zipping like 80 miles an hour through the air. Like, she's shooting a fucking Luger pistol, a very broom handle pistol, and killing people. I'm like, well, hold the phone. Like, you cannot aim that good. But whatever. And then we get this weird, like, as Eren's about to get to the Beast Titan, there was a thing that happened earlier last season where they were importing this wine that had part of Zeke, he's the Beast Titan, his spinal fluid, which if ingested by an LDN person, turns him into a Titan. That's how they convert regular people into Titans, because they have the power to turn into Titans. Don't ask me, I didn't write this story. But the whole plan was to have everyone in Paradise Island drink this this wine that has the spinal fluid, so everyone there can turn into a Titan without them having to inject them. Because when the Beast Titan, which also has the founding Titan power, yells, it then automatically turns those people into Titans. Like, he has the power to turn regular people into Titans. So what had happened was one of our other main characters, Falco. He's one of the kids that are a potential candidate to become the new Armor Titan or the new whatever, because they're cycling out kids every 13 years to become new Titan candidates, which makes sense. You want to keep the power of the Titans. And Falco ingested some of it. And Falco's brother, I don't remember what his name is. It wasn't important. Porco, I think is his name. Or Paco or whatever. He's like, whoa, Zeke, don't yell, because if you yell, Falco will turn into a Titan as well. And Zeke, the Beast Titan, knew Falco the whole time he was training him to take one of his powers. So you have this emotional thing of like, holy shit, if I yell, Falco's going to turn into a Beast Titan. Well, I'm sorry, there's always sacrifices. And you're like, what is he going to yells? And then Falco starts turning into a Titan, and all the people that drank the wine start turning into a Titan. So it's a whole bunch of old characters that have been in the show this entire time, transforming into like regular mindless Titans. Mm-hmm. And the worst part was Falco's brother was there to try and stop Zeke, grabs Falco. He's like, let go of me, brother, you'll die. He's like, it's okay, Zeke, I'm here for you. And you're starting to cry. It's like, it's so emotional. Turns into a Titan. That's not even the worst fucking part. Our main boy, Reiner, right? Emotionally destroyed because, like, he's going through depression of, like, he snuck into Paradise Island as a spy to learn that he's the reason why Titans originally broke into Paradise Island. He's helped smash the wall. Him and Marco, I think is his name. There's been a debate of how they say his name, because they say his name 8 different times. And he's going through this bout of depression last season because he caused the deaths of thousands and thousands for no reason, really. Like, the whole thing of, Reiner says earlier in the season is, I went to the island of devils, and I didn't find devils. I found regular people trying to survive. And Gabby has this situation because she thought all the people on the island were devils as well. And she's like, there were never any devils here. We were lied to. They were just regular people just trying to survive. So you get this whole thing of like, is one side good or is one side bad? They're both bad, but they're both good. Like, it makes sense no matter how you look from it. Each side was right, but they're also both terribly wrong at the same time. This is even where it gets good, right? They turn into Titans. Falco starts attacking Reiner. Eren gets free, and Reiner's like, I needed to protect Falco, and I couldn't. So it's all right if he eats me, because Falco's trying to bite his Nate, but he's the armored Titan, so he's got to bite through the armor. Then, out of nowhere, Colt, which you thought was dead because he got beat basically death by Eren, missing half his face, comes out from the Titan. He's like, I can still help. Lets Falco eat him. And Reiner's like, no! So Falco now has the power of the Jaw Titan. It gets better. Eren escapes out of his Titan because he pins Reiner down, like does this crystallization thing because that's part of his powers. Starts running towards the Beast Titan because you thought the Beast Titan was dead. No, the Beast Titan got out of his Titan to lay on the ground. Eren got out of his Titan form to get on the ground, so if they basically slap hands together, they can join their powers together. As he's running to touch the Beast Titan's hand, Zeke, Gabby, out of nowhere, has this fucking anti-tank, which is just an anti-Titan rifle, which is what they call it, shoots him in the neck. His head goes flying off, and you're like, holy shit, did Eren Yeager just fucking biff it? No, we get a whole episode of a flashback / not flashback / extra world thing where Eren basically isn't dead, but is dead. At the same time, he's basically in the Titan spirit realm kind of deal. I don't know how to describe it. You have to be there. And then you find the origins of how the Titans came to be. Like the original Titan, Ymir, she was she was captured by basically Vikings, became a slave. Then she was told she could be free. Then she was hunted down, so she ran inside a tree, fell in this water that was inside this tree. Then this like weird monster thing gripped onto the back of her spine, giving her the power of Titans. Then this Viking kingdom went from a Viking village to like an actual kingdom. And you know what her reward was for making this whole kingdom and, giving them all this power? What do you think the king gave her as like a gift?
The power of nothing.
The power of, you get to have my babies. That is literally what he said. You've done so good for this kingdom. You may have my seed. She has 3 daughters. And one day, they're at this, like, throne meeting, whatever. Like, listen, this is the anniversary of our kingdom, blah, blah, blah. Then a random dude in the crowd picks up a spear he hid under the sand to try and assassinate the king. Because the king has basically ruled uncontested for, dozens of years. Mm-hmm. Because they have the power of the Titan. This is like Roman age. Ymir steps in front, gets pierced. The king's like, get up, you've recovered from worse. Ymir takes this chance to just die. Because at this point, she's just a sex slave. She's used for everything. She doesn't know how to live her life. She's just lived her life based on what people tell her what to do. Mm. The most gruesome part is the king is crazy. He's like, we have to make sure we preserve the power of these Titans. My daughters, eat your mother's like corpse. They chop up her corpse, make the daughters eat it, then force his daughters to keep breeding so they can build a civilization of like just Titan, powerful people. And that's where the Eldian story comes from. They went from this small like village that was raided by Vikings, blah, blah, blah. I've explained it. This story happens, and Eren and Zeke are still talking, and they tell the story. Eren has this whole flashback. I know I'm just explaining it play-by-play, but it's very important. They have this play-by-play of, like, they're going through Eren's, like, past life. It's like, no, Eren. Zeke's like, Eren, you're brainwashed. And Eren's like, I'm not brainwashed. You're brainwashed. And Zeke's like, I'm going to show you that you're brainwashed. And then while Zeke's showing Eren how he's brainwashed, Eren brainwashed Zeke while in it. So there's a brainwash fucking inception inside of it. They get to the end, and Zeke's like, holy shit, I didn't know the actual truth. You were right, Eren. And Eren used this moment to trick Zeke because Zeke was trying to control Ymir in the whole giving tree, because Zeke's idea of world peace is sterilize all Eldians so they can't have kids, so the fighting will end within, 80 years when everyone dies out. Eren's idea is, no, give everyone the Titan powers. We're going to commit to the rumbling. The rumbling is he wants a whole bunch of... The walls in Attack on Titan are made around Titans. Like, these walls can't support their own weight, so there's actually Titans inside that have just been alive for thousands of years, and the walls were built around them. And then with the power of the founding Titan, she can wipe everyone's memory away. So that's why there's no memory of, like, what Eldian used to be. This is where it gets even better, Justus.
You got me hooked.
I'm sorry. Eren gets the power of the founding Titans somehow. He can, like, he's chained up, rips off basically half his hand to grab onto Ymir, and is like, listen, you've been alone for 2,000 years. You just needed someone to believe in you. Ymir starts crying. Eren gets the power. Then he talks to every Eldian around the world telepathically. Oh, this is where it gets really good, Justus. He's like, listen, everyone, every Eldian, now's our time to rise up. The rumbling is going to happen. Everyone not on this island is going to die. He's going to use every Titan inside the wall to trample over the entire world because they can't do anything. These Titans are like, I don't even know how tall, like 100 meters tall. Just like Titans that your cannons, tanks, bombs won't do anything to them. Like, technology is World War I technology. And Eren turns into this giant skeleton Titan that's maybe like 300 meters tall by like a couple miles long, and he starts going away, and you have this moment of, wait a minute, Eren said he only needed to destroy Marley because he took all the Titans from Wall Maria, but then he took all the Titans from like Wall Rose, which is huge. Like, that's the whole kingdom. So he's got like 100 Titans with him, and he's like, oh, Eren's going to destroy the whole world because Armin and Mikasa were helping Eren to win the fight so, their nation could stay safe. Now they're like, oh, shit, we just helped Eren destroy the entire world. Because Eren's probably gone crazy. He wants freedom. Like, he's tired of living behind a wall, everyone living in fear, everyone trying to kill them no matter what they do. So he's just going to kill everyone else, which kind of makes sense when you're driven to that. So now the rumbling is happening, Justus. I'm sorry that took forever. It's fucking kicking off. Finally, after fucking 10 fucking years, they get what they fucking deserve. But Levi's nowhere to be seen. We haven't seen him in 4 episodes. Where's Levi? He's the one that's really good at killing Titans.
Okay.
I'm sorry that was a boring. That was like a, kind of step by step kind of thing.
He's trying to go for a shitty transition to Platinum Man.
No, I do have one thing. This is in transition. I forgot to mention. So Zeke and Aaron actually share the same father. And the whole reason why Zeke has his stance is because he's like, our father abandoned us to take on this crazy idea. There's a lot. There's not enough time to cover what happened in these 4 episodes. You just physically have to watch him and take in everything at once. I have maybe 3 pages of notes just on that. You know what? You don't need time to take in Platinum Man's. Boom. Listen, it's getting better.
It only takes 2 characters. What is wrong with
you? You got to stop touching that shit, man.
I'm not even touching the cable. I'm moving stuff.
I think you did touch the cable, though. I don't know. Your cable's kind of at a 90 degree where mine's just straight up. Hey, let me mute that real quick. Go ahead and straighten out your cable kind of a little bit like this. No, move your Velcro back. Give it some more slack. Go more straight in. There you go, buddy.
I don't think that was the issue.
There we go.
I don't think that was the issue.
I think Platinum Man is definitely that thing where it won't be able to redeem itself at this point. I think at episode 8, maybe 9, it started to get better than what it started as, but everyone dropped it by now. We were talking about this. You're worried they're going to do...
They've already done the Death Note thing.
What?
The main antagonist is dead halfway through.
It's a little over halfway through. Because we're on what? Let me pull it up here.
17.
Yeah, so
the dude died 2 episodes ago? 14. So almost halfway through.
Yeah, we're 15. So a little over halfway through. The thing is, I think the way they killed him was too fucking cheap. It was too cheap to give Makoto just huzzah. It was actually, it kind of made sense, but the whole idea of wings can't interact with stuff from the other world, but they already showed that when Red and Yellow grabbed onto the other guy's wings, it brought him down, but it's not supposed to be able to interact with things.
Well, it's just like the arrows, though. So what they were saying is other people's wings, so Mirai's wings over Metropoliman's, he can see that, but he can't physically interact.
No, I'm talking about when he went to interact with the wing.
He can't touch it.
But earlier in that whole fight, Red and Yellow grab onto that one machine gun dude's wings, and they can perfectly
their wings.
Did they grab onto his wings with their wings? I thought they just grabbed on to him.
No, they used their wings.
Oh, did they?
They used one of each wing to drive them into the ground. So it's just like the arrow.
I feel like even though it can't interact with, I don't know, it just felt kind of cheap of a way. I can't see. It's like
that fucking gun blew him apart, and I was like, I don't think it could do that.
50 cal? Also, that 50 cal shot way too fast. In the slow-mo, all the bullets were in a wall. It's no, it would have been a stream of spiral on there.
Yeah. But. Hey, it wasn't that big of a burst. There really weren't that many bullets there. And his head flew off.
Yeah. Even if they were armor-piercing incendiary? They'd have to be incendiary. It still wouldn't have done what they made it. They made it look like it was tiny explosions.
Yeah.
I guess it's just us being Americans being nitpicky. The thing is, I feel like...
Us Americans who know guns.
Yeah, slaps gun on table.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. Take that, Japanese. Oh.
Yet again, America wins.
Our military might. Everyone is aware of it. But
I think I don't know if they built up that fight. It could have been way better. There were so many. It's on the cusp. It's this whole show. It's the same story every time. They're on the cusp of something good, and then they let you down every time.
I also find it kind of difficult that it turns out he was shot with a red arrow.
By the kid with the mask.
Yes.
But how he got shot was so bullshit.
Who got the information from a different angel than his own.
Which they aren't supposed to interfere with that whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's like the angels interfered and he got shot by a red arrow. He would have been smarter than that.
I also feel like we should have technically been able to see the arrow way beforehand.
Yeah, the whole time.
Because they make a point of being like, oh, yeah, that got shot with an arrow.
Yeah.
So,
like even Red could see the arrow when he got close, but everyone else couldn't. I'm like, everyone should have been able to see it from forever away. Plus the whole thing of if you're told to go fight in a life or death, like pretty much death situation, you won't. He would have known that would have been a death situation, which is what I wrote down. Like he would have known like, oh yeah, if I do it this way, I'll die. Like he should have snapped that.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was dumb. At least it gives a little bit of an explanation of why that character was doing something that didn't make sense. Like clearly you would flee like at this point. And it was weird. Like
the way he died was dumb. They could have done better.
The show is taking good steps to like have a pretty cohesive story. I just feel like they're tripping over themselves to get to there.
Well, even when Red started to do kind of the cheat, he still could have flown away. Like they already showed if you can fly first, you can get away faster, but somehow Red was able to just grab him, pin him, and it was
And right after we get, deal with that, this kid basically announces to the entire world where it's like,
hey, we should work together.
Yeah. Here's what God candidates are. This is like, we have this, or there's these options. Yeah. And, everyone has an angel. And of course, like the government are like, oh, get them.
Yeah.
And
I just find it dumb because you have to be able to react because there's scenes where the reaction isn't quick. It's normal. But then there's scenes where the reaction's too quick.
Yeah, like an instant.
All it would take is, oh yeah, he's on this roof. Yeah, there's a sniper like 4 blocks away, like 4 snipers. I'll take a shot.
Well, they're trying to take him alive.
Yeah. But let's say, there's other things could be like, I don't know, a horse trank or whatever. Like, oh yeah, he's faster than like this net that would have popped up there. But then there's other scenes like you saw where it's like if he could have reacted to a net behind him, then our fucking Metro Polyman could have reacted to the red arrow when the kid like hopped up there. It's just continuity is not there.
Yeah, the police stuff is kind of interesting because we were getting glances at them during the fight, and I just don't understand like motivation because now they're on this big kick of like, well, we don't have to wait those 800 days or something.
Yeah, they have just over 800 days
That's
left.
So long. I thought it was way shorter overall.
Originally it was 999 days. They're telling us that 200 days have already passed, which it's like, you guys played this off if it was a week. So they're playing this off as if 200 days have already passed.
This man keeps telling me how this show's getting good and complaining more than I am.
Well, the thing is, I'm just going through everything. The story is there. It's getting to that point where it's you just need to, keep up with that good. I know we keep saying we're comparing it to Death Note, but...
They did Makaido dirty, by the way.
Real dirty.
For whatever reason, he died. That was sad. It wasn't real emotional, Like, I didn't really feel anything.
No, they
didn't play it well.
Again, they could have played it better.
The thing that I think they did him dirty, for whatever reason, his style design on his deathbed looked more Hajime than fucking anything. And it's like, why you got to do a man like that? Just make him look good.
Yeah.
It was a weird,
I love how they put a fucking cigarette in his mouth, like, here you go, buddy. And it's like,
it falls over. It's like, all right, thanks, wife.
They shouldn't have done the whole bounce for a fucking 2-minute thing. Just have the cigarette bounce once, frame away. But also, his daughter
was asleep.
Asleep the whole time. It's like she's like, "Daddy," and then fell asleep. It's like your mother would have made you say bye to dad at least once.
Yeah,
he never got to make another dress.
No,
maybe that'll be the thing at the end of the season. She stitches it back together. That won't fucking happen. But I just feel like they did Metro Polyman so dirty. They built up this very complex, interesting, knowledgeable character just to be like, yeah, he got shot randomly by a red arrow from a kid. It's like,
who cheated, essentially.
Yeah. It straight up cheated. So they're breaking rules within the world that they've set that they've used before with the same angels that are like, oh, I'm not breaking the rules. And then they broke the rules. It's like, also, we need a way to capture these angels. Well, here's this guy with no budget that created a way to capture angels apparently already. Just take that.
Yeah. They right now the final goal is basically force the final 6 to convene and just pick a god. That way it can be over. Because the big worry right now is anyone who has a white arrow, which is 3.
Yeah.
So half of them have the ability to kill that's currently left, which is kind of bad. And it's like, hey, what if you get forced to basically be a weapon? And I don't know what kind of world where it's like, we can brainwash you. You're going to be brainwashed. You'll become a super soldier. And it's like, well, how easy is brainwashing really? You can persuade people.
I'm sure there's ways you leave someone in a state like that constantly. I mean, to be fair, we're not CIA
you could,
agents.
But even at some point, as a god candidate, you can do the easy thing. You have a white arrow. Just fucking shoot yourself. No one's stopping that.
That's true.
It's a similar thing of you could just shoot yourself with a red arrow and be like, I'm going to live. And then just push through it.
Would you just masturbate all the time?
I mean, would they continue to try to torture you for over it's 33 days total?
Yeah. Well, that kid gave away all the info that governments would need. It's kind of, it's that idea of a kid would probably actually have this, but
yeah, it's interesting. There's still one person that's missing that we have no idea.
It's the captain from Bleach. You see him in the ending theme. He's dressed just like the captain from Bleach with the Kenny is his name, I think. Kenpachi, yeah. Because I've seen his character design in the preview art, and I'm like, yo, fucking Captain from Bleach is in this? It's
yeah. So
it's the same voice actor.
Oh, it's the show's fine. I would give this not as good as Death Note. It's making some of the same mistakes that made Death Note weak near the end.
Not as good. Death Note doesn't even come close to Death Note. It's in the trailer park outside the stadium.
Well, yeah, but the problem is it's making similar mistakes that Death Note did. That even for as good as Death Note is, people actively agree where it's oh yeah, dealing with Nier and Mello was way worse than anything. Light versus L.
Well, they do that whole thing of they set this, they set it so high, so high. And they're well, the story's not done.
Also, LMN, people were like, all right, calm down.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. It's, one thing we didn't mention was the show gets real dark again when you meet the kid. It's like, okay, brother, you ready to kill yourself? Yeah, I'm ready. And then they just leave the kids by themselves when they meet them and they leave them alone for a little bit. It's like, you just left 2 suicidal kids alone by themselves again? Like, this kid's like, okay, once I help you finish your stuff, then I'll kill myself. It's like, no, this kid would want to kill himself constantly this whole time. But it is cool to see how they mention, like, the red arrow can kill if people already want to die.
Yeah.
It just influences them enough.
I mean, we already saw that, though.
Yeah.
With the ant.
Yeah, I guess we have.
And then Kanade, the Metropolitan Man, his fucking friends just roped into all of this. Because it's like, oh, he got a pretty girlfriend. That's the entire basis where it's like, must be a god candidate. He got a pretty girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's like, who's making this decision? You guys fucking suck.
I do love how
that is the only criteria.
They do play him as someone in real life would probably play their character. It's like, you're a god candidate, right? Yes, I'll work with you. I'm a god candidate. Wait, you're not a god candidate? Listen, man, I don't know what to say in that situation. It's like...
that was good. It's just one of those, like, for whatever reason... The entire basis of him being seriously looked into, like, as a god candidate, I get trying to do No Stone Unturned, but they were very, like, focused on him, where it's like, the dude got a girlfriend. Those kids over there killed 4 of their family members and close friends. This one over here is on a private island and became a literal, like, socialite individual.
Instagram model.
Mm-hmm. And it's... You know, then we had like Metropolitan Man.
What's up with that fucking security? There's one camera in that fucking room. There's one goddamn camera in that fucking room.
I like how she's like, how am I going to get out of here? And it's like, just fly real fast till they can't see you. They'll go fucking...
No, she doesn't have wings, I don't think, right? She just has the red arrow.
I'm pretty sure she has wings.
I don't think she has wings.
Does she only have the arrow?
I think she only has the red arrow because she's a
So she flew back? I thought she had... wings and a red arrow.
No, she flew on a plane. She was on a plane in one scene. Yeah, so it's like, oh,
just stay in her private fucking island.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would have done. Oh my god, like I hate seeing shows that have the potential to be better. Mm-hmm. I feel like the show could have been. I don't know what the behind the scenes stuff is. What if they would have waited? Is this an original?
No, it's based off of manga.
I wouldn't know if the manga's written like this. I wonder if the manga's... Probably. I'm guessing it is because no one's complained that the manga's way better. It's like...
something like ones that have...
I wrote something down for it.
A similar issue. Love of Kill.
So happy.
Yeah, this is the only one you're getting. I have 3 gripes with this show.
Okay, go ahead. Ringtone is one.
Ringtone, like specifically not the one that we hear when he's calling, but the one that you would actually be receiving. It goes way too quick, and there's not like an actual pause. It's literally like ring, 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 ring. And at one point you hear it for like a minute, and it's like, fucking come on now.
Listen, you're getting annoyed just like she is. You get to be the character.
No. So... Too much ringtone, like way too much. Second of all, she has done nothing. For someone who is meant to be our main character, she has been entirely useless in 4 episodes.
She's done 2 other captures by herself, but recently he's been taking her captures. Yes,
but since we have seen her, she has had her ass beat 3 times. And has been knocked out 3 times.
It's a love story, man. What do you want?
Someone who's meant to be like a bounty hunter and is supposed to be like badass, and this is the job because she's trying to have a goal, not be the most worthless fucking character in the entire thing. By the way, 3rd gripe, because episode 4 ends with an explosion where it looks like she's supposed to be in the car. Literally the after credit, like
they need to stop with previews. Previews need to
the
fucking
after credit
stop.
preview. They took the time to show that she ran out, and it's like, what is the point?
Yeah, previews nowadays are like, let me spoil half the episode. Like even I don't even watch the Attack on Titan preview because it'll spoil it.
The main reason why I'd even watched it is because one of them was there was a minute after credits.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, I'll just see just to make sure. And then that's when it's like, well, clearly she isn't fucking dead. But she hasn't done anything. She also hasn't said much and just looks mad the whole time. Where it's like, I get you're supposed to be mad, but...
I don't hear you bitching about Nezuko.
Well, that's her literal character.
Maybe this is her literal
she's
character.
A side character compared to our lead, who the murder dude has already went through about 15 pages of a script, and she's on paragraph 2.
I don't hear you bitching about Kobayashi.
What's wrong with Kobayashi?
She doesn't do anything when there's giant fights going on. Just saying.
You can't compare Dragon Maid to Love of Kill. That's stupid.
Yeah. See what happens when you send a woman to do a man's job? That's a joke. It's gonna get cold.
I've also just noticed that for whatever reason, Love of Kill is I'm having trouble having it hold my attention.
I don't know. I just go into it just fucking ready to enjoy it.
Yeah, I just took a bunch of breaks within those 4 hours. I went to grab some food.
4 hours
or 4 episodes. Sorry,
I was gonna say, what episodes are you watching?
I got through 2 episodes, and I was I'm gonna watch some YouTube.
I'll admit it's a show you can't just binge. Like Police in a Pod, I could binge that shit. This show, I ended up binging it, but it's definitely let me watch it this week. It's something kind of fun that kind of mellows you out from the other stuff.
I wouldn't see why this would mellow anyone out. There's not a lot going on.
When you're watching Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan, it's pretty fucking mellow.
You go watch Akabe Sailor Uniform, which is way better.
I'm tired of seeing feet. I don't like feet. Stop showing me feet. Are you a feet guy?
No.
Because it fucking sounds like it.
No, but it's way better than this.
Yeah. But listen, man, they can't all be winners. You're competing with...
Well, I know that they can't all be winners.
But they should all be winners.
I definitely feel like our main character, she should be able to hold herself at least a little bit. They had the whole thing where...
Also, that hooker was left in a garage for 3 days next to a rotting dead body. Feces are going to be there because she's going to shit and piss herself. And she was perfectly fine. Then she gets crushed in the fucking car. Mm-hmm. No one was wearing a seatbelt. I want to state that. I don't know how that girl got crushed in the back, but she didn't get crushed in the front.
Landed on the rear.
It seems like it just landed
Oh, that looked like it was more rear based. At least based on what it looked like.
Some police officers can be real confused when they come and clean up 2 dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
One that's already been rotted, and then...
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Where is this... this is taking place in Japan.
No.
Is this not... I don't know. They haven't specifically said.
Look, all of our characters are Korean.
Are they? Oh, yeah. That's Sung Hae-ho.
Rang Ha Song.
Whose song? Is that someone else?
That's the main character. Or the...
Oh, that's
the main dude. Who has the same name as someone who was the body in the car when she was a little girl.
So maybe this takes place in Korea?
I'm assuming. It says it's based off of, a manga, but I think it's a manhwa.
So, this show...
That man's name is too Korean.
It definitely is. I'm trying to think of how to describe this show. It's the show has been... It's weird because it switches... we talked about how, shows switch too much between... how do I describe it? They switch too much between super serious and then super funny. You can be super funny with a little bit of serious, or you can be super serious with a little bit of funny. Look at Konosuba. It's super funny with a little bit of serious. Then you look at Hellsing Ultimate or Hellsing. You have super serious with a little bit of funny, but you can't be super serious and super funny at the same time, typically.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it doesn't work out for him. So I guess we'll see where it goes, but it is kind of funny seeing how he's there all the time for her. Also, he's creepy. He's a stalker. With that guy, he's when she went to tase the dude that was on the bike that chased her down, first problem, She was grinding him up against the wall where there was no rail guard, so he would have been rubbing up against solid rock. And they showed blood at one point. She pulled off. He fell off the bike. He didn't even roll. He just fell flat and stopped immediately. Not to mention that truck thing. I thought he just straight up killed the guy. I don't see the point of just shooting him in the arm and then walking away. You might as well just fucking kill him.
Also, the vehicle, it looks like it goes around, right? And then drives off the edge.
Yeah.
There's like damage in the front of the semi on the right hand side.
I thought it bounced off the semi and then went.
The way they made the animation look, it literally like goes around.
Continuity issues.
Yeah.
I know we're kind of nitpicking, but at the same time, it's
the next show has a continuity issue. Our final one, it's a small one, but it's so annoying because I notice it and it's like you.
Oh, hang on. What's our next show?
The Genius.
Oh, the Genius Prince.
Yeah, there's one continuity issue. I don't know why they did it that way. It's very annoying. Once I point it out, if they continue to do it that way, it's gonna annoy the shit out of you too.
There was one point where I thought it was kind of dumb in Love of Kill. It's when she's running and he's just kind of doing the JoJo like fast walk and he's out walking her. I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm.
I know she was just in a car accident, but you were also just in a it's more severe car accident.
Yeah,
one might argue, and you're just
yeah.
It is kind of cool because you get to do see that our boy Song is oh no, so Sang Woo is the other guy that was trying to promote Song Ho, which is our main guy. He straight up did kill those people. For a while I was like, did he kill those people? It's like, no, he murdered those people. Like, he was friends with them too. So I wonder where they're going to go with that story of like, there was also another big thing where he goes to hug our girl and smells her. He's like, you don't smell bad like everyone else. So apparently he can smell bad guys, and that's how he goes about his business.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a whole weird thing. Hopefully the show rises up in ratings, kind of like Rising a Kingdom out.
The Geniuses got.
I like this
Princess
show.
Guide to Rising Nation of Tech.
I think this is a fun, passive show. I actually thought this was an isekai going into it. Then after the first episode, I'm like, oh no, this is just like we just.
Yeah, you had asked me about it, and I was like, nope, it's not an isekai. We
just skip straight to the good part, which is what I kind of like. I don't need the whole growing up arc thing. Sprinkle it in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool to see like the tactics he uses to win, because he's just filled with bad luck.
Could I throw out my one gripe, and then like everything else will be praise about this one?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, every so often, and especially within it's like episode 3 and 4, they do it a lot. They show you maps. The visual map that they show, like armies kind of moving, and then the actual maps that are put in the background, they're flipped every time.
Oh, the kingdom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that, but
I was like, why?
No, I think they were trying to explain something, because I think the maps he has are old. Because when they're talking about East and West, the maps are different on those.
Well, the problem is, like, if it's supposed to be different, literally they're laid out the exact same. It's just flipped. Because you have that big space, which is one massive kingdom, which is supposed to be on the right side.
Yeah.
And
then the smaller kingdoms are on the
left. But there's been instances where they actively, like, I think pulled out one map, or as they're doing like the visual.
Well, the map behind his office when they're in the club room,
it's on the left.
It's on the left.
Yeah, and then they'll do like visual stuff, like when he was talking with his sister.
Wasn't that pre forming of the empire?
No, that like it's the stuff that he was discussing, which leads into that like sword dude that shenanigans happen with him. It's literally talking about his grandfather.
Oh, so I guess
so. Yeah, for whatever reason, I guess they just flipped the maps. They were doing it enough where I was like, why is it flipped? Why am I noticing that it's flipped?
I did notice that. Well, the thing is, it's pretty big in the background. Plus, they pull up the map a lot in the show.
Yeah, well, when it's like visual, the mental image as they're talking about like people moving around and stuff like that. It was just one of those like, could we not keep this like consistent?
Also, when he talks about how big their nation is, so
It's
the nation he has
tiny.
is 500,000 people, and I was like, that's like tiny even for standards then, because like when you think of the state of Iowa, what did we say? We have
3.3.
Yeah, 3.3 million people. So I wonder, it's even less because the population of the Des Moines Metro is almost 1 million people, right?
No.
We were talking about that.
It would be about our slightly more than our metro.
Yeah, so like that's a tiny kingdom. And then they talk about their army. We managed to pull together 5,000 troops. So we're going to take our 5,000, because within the first couple of episodes, it's kind of cool to have this fight. It's like, here's our 5,000 versus their 7,000. And then he's winning. Then they're losing. Then they're winning again. And he just kind of gets, I feel like he's getting lucky too much without reason. You know what I mean? It's too convenient. I wish they would sprinkle some more crumbs in the beginning to make it look less convenient all the time.
I wouldn't even say that it's convenient, because he's explaining how things should go, where it's like, it should definitely be like this, right? And he's actively setting things up where it's like, oh, clearly our army's going to be destroyed. But we also did take the time to train them with the most elite guard.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, of course it failed because you guys have way more experience.
Well, the big problem I have is we dug a second tunnel. It's like, you could have
there was a second tunnel that existed.
Yeah,
they just connected over.
I'm just talking I wish I would have sprinkled it a little bit more. Maybe give a background thing of, wait a minute, there's a second tunnel here. Huh. And then,
Yeah.
Make it
I think they did, though. I think they...
Maybe. I don't know. It's a very
You spent a whole lot of time sending pictures in Discord.
Well, you didn't notice it either, so what's your fucking excuse?
It was 2 a.m., 4 a.m.
That's not
4
an
a.m.
excuse.
Huh?
Not an excuse.
Uh-huh. I literally went to bed right after I finished that show.
Yeah. No, it was a whole thing of it's good. I think it's 7.0 material, maybe 7.5 material right now, depending how they go with it. Also, it was pretty funny when they're having that I was telling Justus, I was watching, I'm like, man, this episode's fucking boring. Episode 4, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, this episode's fucking boring. Nothing's happening. She's like, oh, you haven't got to that part. And I'm like, what fucking part? And then immediately 2 seconds later, they're having this sword fight. I'm like, oh, is he going to hit him in the face? Nope. Falls off the fucking balcony and dies. I'm like, oh shit, this is what fucking happens?
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're going to do some sword fighting stuff. And I'm on Discord and I'm like, just give it a minute. That's the only thing I'm thinking in my head. I was like, he'll figure, rhetorical question was already there, so we'll let him figure it out.
But it is cool. They are setting up the scene for what's about to come. We know this rebellion's going to happen because people want to separate the Imperial or the Empire. Did you hurt yourself?
I bit myself.
How do you bite yourself?
I went like this, but I accidentally bit down into the groove a little too hard. It was one of those oops.
Fucking idiot.
I was hamming it up for the camera.
Come on. Now it's I know it's interesting. There wasn't a whole lot that kind of happened. The fights were kind of cool where it's we're winning, we're not winning. Also the whole siege thing was pretty cool. It's how did you get over here? We went through the tunnel. Even though it was bullshit, it was that cool thing. I wasn't expecting him to full on murder him, which is that whole thing of the show's funny, but there are some scenes where it's huh, you're fucking in alpha? Is that what they call him?
Yeah. Oh,
I think they call
Ninim's character.
Yeah, they call it an Elma or an Alpha or something like that.
I thought it started with an H, Helfis or something.
Whatever. It's basically a slur term, and then he gets real pissed because I love her, which is probably why he's choosing not to marry anyone else. And he immediately just fucking proceeds to murder that man because earlier someone's like, your words are his words, right? And then the next scene is just him murdering the army, which it was pretty well thought of, protect the HQ. There's going to be a horse charge. Next day, it's oh, they were just rolling rocks down the hill. Fuck. Oh, and they took back that palace thing again? God damn it.
Mm-hmm. The girl, Ninim, white-haired girl.
Yeah.
Apparently, other nations that they're like connected to, they look at her race basically as slaves, and just looks down upon them. Did her voice sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
That is Rei Takahashi, Megumin, and
That's why I liked
Amelia.
it so much.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's only downside. Her voice is Amelia too. Sorry, I couldn't hear you over.
His 4 Megumin statues in the background.
It's only 3 over here right now.
No, look up.
That's right. There's a 4th one there.
There's only 3. 4th is right above, being like, please don't forget me.
There's some in the other room. She's making like every series she's done. I mean, she basically plays the same kind of character, but you kind of have to depending on your voice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she does a good job of like making them fairly unique.
It's very vibrant of a voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like his sister, which is kind of more generic.
She's a year older than us.
Oh.
Megumin's
voice actor? Mm-hmm. Actress, sorry?
Yeah, she's born in 94.
Oh, who was that one voice actress we saw that's only like... She's like 17?
Oh,
you know who I'm talking... I guess we'll have to look it up
it's one of them from this
I think it's one of the ones from Platinum End, the one that plays Saki. Whatever it is on there. I don't know. I like the show. I don't find myself super excited to watch it, but it's like I enjoy it.
Watching these 4 episodes went by much faster than Love of Kill. Can you agree with that?
Nah.
No?
Won't by faster than Platinum Ends, that's for sure.
I felt like...
Yo, that whole episode with the kid that could have gone from 2 to 1 in Platinum Ends.
Mm.
I think without a doubt, the show of the season, as much as I think the show of the year will probably be Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
I think Demon Slayer will definitely have best fight for sure.
Depending on what they do with this last episode, the biggest thing is, of course, that Attack on Titan has had more episodes to build up to, so people are...
We talked about this last night. It has that fruits basket thing where it's like, it's the end of an era for a show. We've been with Attack on Titan, 10 years, I think? That's when I was still at Office Max. That was pre-2013.
Mm-hmm. We'll probably have a similar thing.
With the Anime Awards this year?
No, for like Demon Slayer, I would assume it'd be about 4 seasons, because there's not many volumes.
They're doing a season and arc. This is the shortest arc because it's the shortest. It's the shortest season because it's the shortest arc in the manga.
You tell that to Mugen Train arc. That was one movie.
Well, you know what I mean. Like the whole district is a whole like kind of bigger arc. The Mugen Train was like its own kind of small thing, but like supposedly the next 2, because there's 5 arcs total, I think, in Demon Slayer. My buddy's right ahead, and supposedly like the next arc after this is like the longest arc out of all of them. So they just might do 2 seasons for the next arc. I don't know. I kind of want to read ahead, but you know what I mean? I don't want to read ahead, but I really want to read ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm debating whether or not to read ahead on there.
Story arcs for Demon Slayer.
So what do you think your favorite non-sequel show is?
Apparently there's 11 arcs.
Well, there's like major ones. I wonder if that includes some of the smaller ones too. I don't know.
11 overall.
Okay. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
What do you think your non... so now that we finished...
Mugen Train is 7, by the way.
What?
Of the 11, Mugen Train is arc 7. Entertainment is the 8th arc of 11.
So, yeah, we have 3 more arcs. How many arcs did they do in the first? Well, I guess they have his whole...
1 through 6.
I guess the first arc was his training one. So he has his life, then training, then he has... I'll have to look into what the arcs are. Mm-hmm. No, like I was saying, what do you think is your favorite non-sequel show of this season on here?
So
we have Bisco, Police in a Pod. I'd have to look it up, Donner. What's a show you're enjoying, I guess I should say, that isn't a sequel? Because it's kind of unfair to be like, oh, Demon Slayer.
I know we like joke on the feet thing, but probably Akabi.
Akabi's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dress Up Darling, but I probably have to say so far my favorite that I'm kind of hyped to watch is Bisco. I don't know, just kind of up my alley. I enjoy Bisco. Akabi's an easy one to be like, that's pretty. It's good. Someone's got a fucking foot fetish at Cloverworks.
Yeah.
Stop. Get help.
For Demon Slayer, by the way, I think people kind of forget just how short it is overall. It's only 23 volumes. So it's not.
It's like, isn't that like 100-something chapters? So
That'd
it'd be like 100-something episodes. That's how I correlate it.
It's definitely not a chapter an episode. There are.
Oh, we forgot to talk that Junji Ito has a trailer out for his anime.
Yeah, it's only 4. Yeah,
but it's like they showed very little of a trailer. Like it's maybe 4 seconds of actual video, and I'm like, oh man. If they're drawing it that way, they're going to get so fucking detailed. Like, his artwork is so detailed, I don't know how they're going to have the budget to draw his shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sorry, I'm trying to find chapters.
Well, we can talk about it next time. There's no point making them wait.
Yeah. I had it there for a second, so it was just...
strong... weakest show of the season is strongest stage with the weakest growth.
Yeah.
Just saying. I would much rather watch Battle Game in 5 seconds than this show.
Yeah, we can both agree on that.
It's a pretty obvious weak show.
It's 207 chapters.
207 chapters.
23 volumes. So.
The thing is, I kind of wish, that what Executive Tennis.
Mm.
I know it's kind of too late to switch because, not everything we pick can be winners on there. I think we did a pretty good job this season of getting a lot of shows are kind of in that 7.0 category with a few in that 5.5. There's only one really in that 5.5. We've got most of them in the 7.0. Of course, we have a few in the 9 category like Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer, but those are pretty given.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking around for episode 69. Fucking dab.
Yo.
Do.
Well,
hang on.
Want to hear me eat another chip?
Go ahead and eat another chip. I want to do something to exit us out of this episode 69. Hang on. Is this...